For is joining us. All right. Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley are out. I mean, I'll just let you go with it. Your impressions on that?
Well, I'm not surprised. I didn't watch a ton of Hard Knocks, but the people that did watch it told me that it was kind of a debacle. Hugh and Todd, both really strong personalities, both kind of old school in the roots as offensive guys. And obviously, ownership thinking the team's regressed. Now, I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's all speculation on why it happened as well. However, I would say this, that when you draft a quarterback number one, especially in Cleveland now, they cannot, no matter what, end of the world situation, cannot let Baker fail. They can't have another quarterback put on that list of Cleveland quarterbacks that haven't worked out. So everything that you do in your organization, every conversation that you have, every meeting that's held, it has to start with one central topic, and that's how do we best support Baker Mayfield? How do we make this work? And I also think at the same time, if you're Jimmy Haslam, if you're Dorsey, you're sitting there and you're watching Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago, who many think is not nearly the talent that Baker Mayfield is, having some success and putting up big numbers and looking like he really knows what's going on there, playing in a college offense. That head coach is energized the city of Chicago with a quarterback-centric team and fresh ideas and innovation. And again, a lot of that Saturday-looking feel to their Sunday offense. I think they're probably saying to themselves, listen, we got to go find somebody that has a very specific plan to how to make Baker productive using a lot of the Saturday concepts. We got to go find somebody that can come in here and add youth and energy and new ideas. And above anything else, make sure that Baker throws for 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, because that will get people believing. That will give everybody hope. And then we can do the rest because we have good young players. We've done well in the draft. We can really build something special here. But the only thing that matters with the Cleveland Browns is getting Baker to be successful. And I think what you're seeing in the NFL, whether it's Kansas City, whether it's Chicago, whether it's other organizations, the way to do that quickly is to bring that Saturday offense to your Sunday football team.
Trent, Ty Montgomery, I mean, listen, situational football is hard. It's not easy. I mean, you're playing this. I've sat in the sidelines in NFL games. The game's going 1,000 miles an hour. The fans are yelling. Your coordinator's yelling. The players are yelling. Football's hard. Football practice is hard. Okay, but there was a moment in that Packer game where it wasn't hard. Okay, kickoff, Ty Montgomery runs it out. Is that insubordination? What did you see there by him?
I think it speaks to something bigger than just what happened. I mean, I got to assume, and there's reports saying that he was told on the sidelines to take a knee, not to bring it out. I heard about him missing a block in the series before and pouting a little bit, and it's a selfish move. All of that is irrelevant to the player having enough respect and emotional intelligence to do what he needs to do in that moment. The head coach's ultimate job. Now, it's not necessarily his job to go down the line and say, hey, Ty, don't bring it out. We want to give the ball to number 12. But the head coach's overall message should be respected. And if he tells the special teams coordinator, tell Ty Montgomery, hey, no matter what, let's make sure Aaron has a chance to go win this game for us, then it's the player's responsibility to obey that message. To me, there's a lack of respect there. If you're not going to do your job, if you're not going to listen to what your coach has to tell you, and a lack of emotional intelligence, that if you can't get over a mistake that you made the series before and understand that you have one of the great players ever who's going to get the ball and only has to go 40-some yards to kick a field goal to beat the undefeated Rams, then there's bigger issues going on.
I want to shift to Kirk Cousins. Listen, I called him earlier empty calories. That I'm not, I get yards.
That was pretty funny. I heard that.
It's not that he can't win. I've said before, I didn't have a problem with Minnesota going out and getting him. I think he's better than Case Keenum. But I'm not a fantasy football player. I am not into yards and completions. I'm kind of a believer in, do you make the play? Aaron Rodgers makes the play. 2-minute drill with Kirk Cousins, I don't feel great about it. And so, and by the way, I love Phillip Rivers. Sometimes Phillip, 2-minute drill, won't make the play. He'll make the mistake. So I'm not saying Phillip Rivers isn't great, and he's better than Kirk Cousins, but am I being too hard on Kirk Cousins? Because I watched last night, and his stats are great. But in the end, that game was over with 9 minutes to go at home.
I don't think you're wrong, Colin. I said this when I was in Washington. I really like Kirk Cousins. I think he can win for you, but that the numbers proved out that he was not a great critical situational passer. He wasn't great on third down, wasn't great in the red zone, wasn't great end-of-half, end-of-game situations. He's had some signature moments, but overall, his career, he has not been great in what I would call those critical moments. Where really, that's where the argument has to start when you're differentiating between good and great quarterbacks in the NFL. I do think you're being unfair to have the conversation today. I don't think last night was necessarily the best example of that. I thought Kirk Cousins played hard last night. It was his two superstar receivers that turned that game for him. Thielen, who just had an incredible year, is a great football player, fumbles the ball, leads to points for the Saints. And then Diggs cuts off a man route short and forces Kirk into a pick six. That's 10 points right now. I believe that's what they lost by. So I don't disagree with you overall that in today's football, it's really easy to get caught up in numbers. And a guy's good because he throws for a lot of yards and he throws a lot of touchdowns, yada, yada, yada. I think you really do have to drill deep into when are they playing their best football?
Yes.
Are they playing their best football when the other team knows they have to pass? Are they playing their best football when they have to bring a team back? Are they playing their best football when it's hard to play good football? That's how I determine who are the best. And I think Kirk is still in the middle of the pack because he hasn't yet become great in those situations. I just think last night may not be the best example of this.
Finally, listen, there's a lot of stories I like right now in the NFL. Drew Brees getting old, and really this team could win it all. I love the fact that he's getting into the twilight of his career, and he's just as good as he's ever been. It makes me happy. I love the Andrew Luck story. He's got a little help. But you saw something on Thursday that you loved. Talk about it.
I think one of the best stories in the NFL this year is Deshaun Watson, the Houston Texans. And I think it's because of what we just talked about. Things have been hard. They started 0-3. They had two tough schematical matchups early in the year for Billy O'Brien, playing two coaches that know him very well schematically and make it difficult for him. Deshaun Watson being really banged up, not just banged up, really banged up, like some stuff that most guys wouldn't play games with. They're 0-3. He has a chance to maybe take a couple weeks off, get healthy, see how things go to see if the season's worth playing. Instead, he guts it out. He does what you really should do. And we talk about Aaron Rodgers being heroic. He's got a banged up knee. Give me a break. This guy can't breathe during the week. And he's 0-3. He brings his team back to 5-3. I think he's one of the superstars we don't talk enough about. And I get it. I love talking about Mahomes. I love talking about all these other studs in the NFL. Deshaun Watson is one of the best players in this league. He's one of the toughest players in this league. And he has single-handedly put this team on his back and brought them back from the grave at 0-3 to 5-3 right now. And maybe it's because it's Thursday night football and the news cycle moves on into the weekend, college football and Sunday football. But we got to talk more about Deshaun Watson and one absolute, not just superstar, but what a poster boy for what quarterback should be. This kid has it all. Yeah,
leadership, toughness. I mean, they couldn't even fly him to the game. They had to put him on a bus. It is incredible. And beyond that.
Revered. Colin, he's revered. That's the word I was looking for. He's not just respected and liked by his teammates, both at Clemson and Houston. He's revered. Like, there is such a level of respect and understanding for his grit, his toughness, his talent. He is truly one of the best players in this league.
Great stuff, Trent Dilfer. Good talking to you, bud.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Cleveland's looking for a new football coach and a new coordinator. Here's Joey with the news.
No.